Hello and welcome. This is the Tarig Motorsport Podcast or Motorsport Show Podcast, whatever you want to call it. This is a weekly podcast that talks about different forms of racing, different genres of racing, giving you recaps as well as insights about the motorsport world. The date in which I'm recording is June 20th, 2021. It is fresh after the French GP as well as the German GP, but topics today will revolve around the Detroit GP, French GP, and German GP. And of course, there's going to be quick bites. We're going to be diving into IndyCar a little bit. Going to be diving into IMSA just a slight bit, and going from there. Going to be reading a few articles for y'all in the quick bites. That's really where I want to spend a few minutes on. It's actually some really impressive stuff that I kind of took notice of. Now, going in a little bit, COVID restrictions force M Sport to go to their skeleton crew, to force M Sport to use a skeleton staff for the Safari Rally. Now, this is an article from motorsport.com. The team principal Richard Millener, alongside boss Malcolm Wilson and a host of staff, are set to be operating the outfit from the UK for the return of the Safari Rally after its 19-year hiatus. Only a skeleton staff, including members of M Sport Poland, will be deployed to Kenya, while the team has also elected to withdraw its WRC2 entry for Teemu Suninen. I'm not sure how to say that man's last name. Now, COVID-19 travel restrictions have created a logistical nightmare, forcing the team to scale down its on-the-ground staff in Kenya, with the African nation on the UK government's red list, meaning a 10-day quarantine period is required for those wishing to return to the UK. As a result, a complicated plan has been put into action to conduct the event and ensure its crew that do attend can return to the UK and serve their quarantine period and return for Rally Estonia that's coming in July. Obviously, COVID has done a lot of things to people. Not to people, but it has. Simple. But COVID has made a lot of things harder, especially when it comes to especially when it comes to travel in general, especially for these teams as well, and going into someplace like that. There's a lot of stuff that's going on in motorsport or travel, COVID related, and it's glad to see that they're actually making the best of it. It's glad to see that they're putting forth a plan to try and get the best out of it that they can. And they're going to be running it from, not only are they going to have that skeleton staff, obviously, but they're also going to have the team set up in the UK, in their UK headquarters, virtually helping in as best as they can. Now, obviously, there's going to be some hiccup there, but it's glad to see that the team is putting forth a plan that they can actually execute and actually follow and stick to. Hopefully, things can change up, and hopefully they're able to actually match everything that they put into this plan. M Sport is a pretty talented team. I expect to see M Sport doing great things. They're making new cars, just that in the forefront, getting ready for the next generation of rally racing. So it's great to see that they're making the most of what they can do right now, especially with the situation as how the situation is. Now we're stepping away from that. We're going to Albon, the DTM. Now, DTM did have its actual opening race. It had its opening race not too long ago, like recently. I feel like it happened today or yesterday, one of the two, in Monza. It had its opening stuff in Monza. I'm not 100% sure because I have been checking into other stuff and other races. So forgive me, I'm not really on top of the DTM as of right now. But this one is also from motorsport.com. Albon is up to speed with Ferrari, with his Ferrari GT3 car ahead of the DTM debut. Now, this article reads, Albon will complete his first season in the 10 Top Championship this year, sharing his Ferrari GT3 car with Formula E driver Nick Cassidy in the revamped DTM series. The Anglo-Thai driver is aiming to stay race fit by contesting a park campaign in the German category, while he continues to work behind the scenes with Red Bull as its reserve driver and simulator driver to land an F1 comeback in 2022. Now, I don't necessarily believe that this is going to catapult an F1 comeback for 2022 for Alex. I think that he may have to accept the fact that this may be where he is for an extended period of time. I don't think it's just going to happen for one season or 1 year. I think this is going to be more of a steady position for him. Obviously, I may be wrong. Obviously, I could be wrong, and this actually does catapult his career back into F1, but I don't really believe that that's what's going to happen based off of this. Obviously, I have to find out where he finished in this race, and I have to find out what he actually did and how well he performed leading into this race and the race that just passed. So I'll see what he has done, and I'll see how he has, moved up and see what he did and see if he can really, get that comeback. I wish him all the best, but I seriously don't believe that this is going to mount a comeback for you in Formula One. Now, the article continues to say a newcomer to GT3 racing, Albon set the third fastest time in the preseason Lausitz's ring test, ending up less than 2/10 behind the pace-sitting Mercedes of Maximilian Götz. Now, the 25-year-old admits he doesn't have as much experience with GT3 machinery as some of the other drivers in the series, but is pleased with how he adapted to the Ferrari during preseason testing. We've done a fair amount of testing, Albon told Motorsport.com. I don't think it's much compared to our competitors. I think I've had 5.5 days in the car so far. Obviously, there are a lot of GT drivers and DTM drivers who have been doing it for a while now. So we were a little bit behind in terms of experience, but I feel like I've picked up the car pretty quickly and I'm getting up to speed with it. Now, there's a lot that's going on. There is a lot that's going on, and I don't believe that this is going to catapult him into. This is going to catapult his F1 comeback for 2022. I don't think so. I think that he's going to have to accept the fact that he's going to be in this position for a while, or he's going to have to not only maybe focus more on GT racing for an extended period of time. That's just where my head is at for Alex. I don't think he's going to be able to utilize this in the way that he's thinking. Now, let me know what you think in the comments for sure, because I really want to understand. I really want to know if anyone else thinks like this. If anyone else thinks this is gonna catapult his career up. I don't think so. I don't think so. But I am not F1 management. I am not F1 whatever. You know what I'm saying? I am not. So hey, things could be different. Things could happen. Things could change. A whole lot of stuff can happen off of some decent racing. We're gonna keep it moving though. NASCAR is exploring the idea of an all-electric racing series, per this CBS Sports report. Now, now I'm gonna read this article as well. My bad. Now, from the time people began racing automobiles against one another, the very crux of auto racing has been the internal combustion engine and the fuels it runs on. But as automotive technology has advanced to the point where cars no longer rely solely on finite natural resources, auto racing has slowly begun to follow suit, and NASCAR is no exception. NASCAR is exploring the concept of starting an all-electric racing series in the coming years. The all-electric series should it come into existence, would operate as a companion to the NASCAR Cup Series. Ooh, my NASCAR fans out there, I want to know what y'all thinking. How y'all feel about this? The article goes on to read, the prospect of electrification has dawned increasingly greater on motorsports over the past several years, with some electric racing series, most notably Formula E, beginning to gain a foothold. As stock car racing has looked towards future power models, NASCAR president Steve Phelps stated in February that while he did not anticipate stock car racing going fully electric, he would be surprised if a new manufacturer entered the sport without some sort of electrification, and hinted at some sort of electric series. Now he says, I don't foresee a time in the future where we would go with all of our series to an all electric. I don't see that, Phelps said in February press conference. Could we have an exhibition series? Potentially, we could. That would be something that we might explore. So like I said, man, NASCAR fans, what y'all thinking about a full electric series? Or some sort of full electric racing within NASCAR? What do y'all think about that? Me personally, I have yet to really think that NASCAR is going to go to that point. But I feel like if they do, and it does end up being perfected after 2 to 3 seasons, and they actually get a foothold within the fans and actually, come with the hybridization and the electric elements, I'm pretty sure that it's going to be fairly exciting if they get it down in those first 2 to 3 seasons. And of course, they got to get fans in because most of the fans are thoroughbred, true NASCAR fans who love the roaring engines, and they love all those kind of things. So who knows where that's going to lead? Who knows what's going to happen? Who knows how things are going to actually, how the outcome is going to actually be? Obviously, this is years and years in the making. This is not even now. Like, this is not even near future, in my opinion. I think this is like maybe 10 to 15 years from now that NASCAR may even start to implement a fully electric type of exhibition match or exhibition series, whatever. But hey, you never know. You never know. They might push this shit to come out 2026, something of that nature, and it's gonna. It may be adventurous, maybe different. But let me know in the comments, man. Let me know what y'all think about whether or not this is actually going to be a fairly, if this is something that fans are going to enjoy, especially NASCAR-based fans. I'm not 100% sure how the NASCAR fans are going to be about that. Now, real quick, I want to get off that and switch over to, the virtual side of motorsport. This comes from NME.com. Well, actually, before I start this, for any, race car streamers and stuff like that, man, if you are watching this, or if you're listening to this, and you race and all that kind of stuff, feel free to hit me up on Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff will be within the video somewhere. It's usually above me. Or let me know in the comment section if you're in YouTube, and let me know if, you're not only your Twitch stuff, but also, just let me know what games you play, all that good stuff, because I would love to be able to check you guys out, man. I'd love to be able to check y'all out, and of course, to the smaller people, to the smaller streamers, hey, I'm here. I'd love to check y'all out. Now, going back into, gaming news, the other side of motorsport, this 93-year-old Forza Motorsport 7 streamer finds online fame. I don't know if you guys heard about this, but Ryuji Urabi, I'm not sure how to say the man's name. I'm guessing he's like, I don't want to. Anyway, a 93-year-old with a wealth of real-life driving experience is making a name for himself as a leading streamer on Forza Motorsport 7. With some help from his grandson, he has quickly found fame for his exploits on the racing game Forza Motorsport 7. Over there on their channel, Olivan.corp, he has been racking up views on videos that show him handling a variety of cars in the game. Many of the in-game cars he's actually driven throughout his life. Now, the channel currently has, 16,000 subscribers, and, videos have 3.6 million views, and it's nice to see. It's nice to see. Now, one video even goes to mention that he has over 70 years of car history. So it's great to see that he's just, living life, having fun, and finishing off. Well, I don't want to say finishing off. That's fucked up. But he's just enjoying his time, man. I'm glad to see that his grandson is helping him achieve that, for sure. Now, obviously, I want to go into. God damn, I keep hitting shit, man. I am so sorry because I don't have the spring system so that you don't hear shit. But moving on. The Detroit GP. I want to start off by saying IndyCar was kind of reminiscent of Baku, of the Baku GP this year, especially race 1 on Saturday. In my opinion, the reason I say that is simply because not only was it great racing, there were crashes and stuff too. Don't get me wrong, but it came down to a mad dash at the end. Just like Baku, it came down to a mad dash, 5 laps left to go at the end of the race. Championship leaders, someone who was in the lead or someone who was in the front of the pack for the majority of the race, out. It was reminiscent, man. It was reminiscent, and y'all know how I felt about that Baku GP. I loved it. But let me dive into this. Like I said, great racing. Right off the bat, Felix Rosenqvist, he has a big crash on lap 24 at the turn 6 exit. Now, in my opinion, his throttle got stuck. I think that's a general consensus, simply because you could hear him try and downshift, but he does downshift, and then he gets to that rev limiter point, which doesn't make sense for someone who's downshifting, braking, going into a turn, obviously. But sounds like his throttle got stuck, and he ended up speeding on that turn 6 exit all the way into the tire wall. I forgot. I don't really know what it's called, but yeah. Excuse me. Now restart. Great action at the restart. A whole lot of movement. A whole lot of people doing some aggressive racing. A whole lot of people doing some pretty decent things. Okay. Now Will Power, he makes moves and he pushes hard, grabs first place. Sato, I forgot his first name, but Sato is also fighting, pushing hard, and doing his thing. Now Romain Grosjean, he's had actually, I want to talk about his qualifying because he did fairly well in qualifying in both for the majority of those for the weekend. He was doing great qualifying and practice wise for the weekend. Actual race though, the actual race was a little bad luck. That's all I gotta really say to that. Now he felt like his car was off just ever so slightly. Not ever so slightly, but he felt like his car was off in the rear, and from that point he was pretty much correct, because that's exactly what happened. Something towards the rear of the car, ended up doing a little bit of slippage, and from there he ended up hitting the wall. He was able to get out okay and walk away from everything. You know, he was good. Now that brings out, obviously there's a restart and yada yada yada, but remember when I said that there would be heartbreak? Actually, I'm not sure if I said that, but there was heartbreak. Will Power, the one who I said was going aggressive, racing, going hard, doing what he needed to do. Will Power was in the lead, first place for a good majority of laps, holding off while contention, and he was doing some pretty good racing. Crash. Now there's a restart. Unfortunately, there was a problem starting up Will Power's car. Now I don't know if you know, but if there's a problem starting up your car and you're in first place and it's taking too much time to start your car back up, to jump your car, race officials will tell the rest of the pack to go around you. And that's exactly what happened. Heartbreaking to see someone who was fighting so hard for that first place and really pushing and all the things that he did within this race just for it to be null and void, simply because his fucking car won't start. Me personally, I understand, you know, he's pissed, angry, upset, sad, whatever you want to say, but man, that's heartbreaking. That's heartbreaking to see, for real. But 5 laps to go. Pato O'Ward, he's pushing and fighting. Pato O'Ward, man, he is now in first place in the championship standings. That boy's good. That boy's good. I have to say he's doing some pretty good things, man. I think he's going to be a fairly young champion, and he's going to have a great, long, and successful career in Chevy and Chip Ganassi Racing. He's going to be good. It's going to be good for him. There's a mad dash for the finish. Marcus Ericsson, he finishes first, and there was a nice ending battle between Reiners VK and Pato O'Ward for second. Pato O'Ward comes in third, obviously, but he was not able to, because he wasn't able to really catch VK. He had a few looks, but didn't really mount up to opportunities. And this season brings us to 4 first-time winners this year. It's pretty good in my opinion. That's fire. But race 2 Sunday, the race starts. We going 3 wide at the first turn. Dixon, Rossi, and Grosjean. I think there was some contact, but everyone came out of that full swing. Everyone was fairly decent. Now Max Chilton, I believe Sebastian Bourdais missed a shift or something of that nature and had to slow down, which caused someone behind him to slow down, and then Max Chilton, who's just coming around that corner, accelerating out the exit, ran right into the back of, I'm not sure who was in front of him, but he basically wheelies off of the back of that person's tire, I believe. And of course, that brings out a restart. Restart the race. VK, he's going aggressive. Okay, I've noticed there's a lot of race control decisions in this race. I'm not sure if it's all the way through, but there's a lot of race control decisions simply because of the fact that a lot of stuff has to go under review, especially in the Detroit GP, where most of the straightaways are not necessarily straight. So you're not sure if that's the actual racing line or if that's someone being a safety issue. I'm not sure how to really categorize it, but it's not the greatest thing to see. It's a lot of decisions that fall down to race control and review and everything of that nature, which obviously has to happen, but still it's happened a little too damn much. Yes, there was definitely a ton of contact, and there was some questionable situations, but still, in my opinion, a lot of race control decisions. There was another crash or something like that with 12 laps to go. Romain Grosjean, he crashes out. At this point in time, his brakes start to catch on fire. He hops out his car. As we all know, what happened with Romain not too long ago, a year ago, at Baku with his situation and everything of that nature. And he tells the marshal he needs his fire extinguisher, man. And he tries to get a fire extinguisher and tries to put out the fire. But of course, marshals show up and they're like, Romain, relax. Trying to tell him, yo, chill out. We got it. This is our job. Let us do our job and let us stop the fire and everything of that nature. You could tell Romain is like vividly a little, a little upset, but like, he's like, okay, fine. You made your point. Which is, he did phenomenal work in qualifying, for sure. He did phenomenal work in qualifying, and he's pretty much, I don't know, he did well. He did well in qualifying, but it's just in the races he had some bad luck. Honestly, just some bad luck, and it sucks to see that, but that's what happens. He had some bad luck. But moving on though. 7 laps to go. Pato O'Ward, he's pushing hard. Okay, and he overtakes and makes a ton of moves to get himself in second place behind what's his name? Joseph Newgarden. Puts himself right behind Joseph Newgarden, and it's a nice little battle too. It's a nice little battle as Pato O'Ward is closing down the position. He gets told to go for it. It's 5 laps left in the race, or 7 laps left in the race. Don't hold back. Go for it. Do what you got to do. Get that W. And sure enough, that's what he did. Now, Pato O'Ward at this point in time was, 3rd or 2nd in the championship? But Pato O'Ward, he's moving, making moves, goes past Colton Herta, easy, okay? Now he's in second place. Pato, being extra aggressive, 3 laps to go. He gets told to go for it, like I mentioned. And now he's going after Newgarden. And it's a pretty decent move. Also, Pato O'Ward has a nice amount of not overtake, what do they call it? Push to pass? I believe that's what they call it in IndyCar. Whatever the fuck it is. He had a lot of it, and he used it. And sure enough, he was able to get past Newgarden. Fairly simple. Okay, and from that point on, he still keeps pushing because he gets a 5-second lead above the rest of the competition. Nobody was close to him. Nobody was close to Pato O'Ward, Patricio O'Ward. What? Nobody. Which is great to see. And of course, that gives us a Chevy 1-2 with Pato O'Ward in first and Newgarden in second. And that's what, Chip Ganassi Racing, who comes out at the top with Pato. It's pretty good fucking racing. There was pretty good racing. And of course, Alex Palou, he was trying to chase down Newgarden for second. That didn't really go well because Newgarden was able to hold on, and Palou got third. Will Power, though, he started at the back of the pack and was able to come up, I believe, from 18th place to get a top 10 finish in this race. So, I mean, that's a nice little comeback. Obviously, should have gotten first on Saturday, but he didn't. Sucks to see. But then I want to talk about IMSA. DPI had some fairly good, eventful action. Not only was there a nice little battle for first, right? But there was also a nice little battle for third. Well, now it was 3 cars battling for third. I mean, they were all within, hundredths of a second of it. Like, they were going at it. And I'm glad to see that they had a nice little bit of action. Race was on the brink. Positions were right on the brink of being lost or being taken. All those kind of things. It was nice to see. What the fuck was going on with the rest of the race? Because GTLM only had 2 cars. That's 2 Corvettes. The 3 and the 4 Corvette, or the 2 and the 3 Corvette. Whatever it was. It was 2 Corvettes racing. Like, that was it. What's the point of having y'all in the race to begin with? Right? That's 1. GTD, uneventful. It was alright, but it was just meh. It was a meh race. Okay, what? I fell in love with IMSA last year, but of course they announced the news that they were getting rid of GTLM. But the process that I fell in love with was DPI and GTLM. But that's gone now. That's gone now. So I'm not sure. The LMP category is done. Either that or they just couldn't have all that happening at Detroit. Something of that nature. I don't know, but this was not the best race to see. And the field was very small. There was only like 5 cars. There was only 5 cars in DPI, 2 cars in GTLM, and I think 6 or 8 cars in the GTD. Lord, I hope they bring some action back to this racing. I hope so. They should. But that's it on the American side of things. Let's go over to where the real action was this weekend, Sunday, today. Formula 1. Yes, Formula 1. We're talking about the French GP. The race starts. Wait, hold on. Before that, Max Verstappen is on pole. Lewis Hamilton, second. Valtteri, third. I believe Perez was fourth. I'm not sure who was fifth. Pierre Gasly, sixth. You know my man, Mr. Consistent. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, the race starts. Max Verstappen. He had a counter steer issue, and from that point on, he ran a little wide trying to catch himself, and he ran off the track a little bit trying to catch his car, which allows Lewis Hamilton to go into first place. Max Verstappen, he's now in second. Strategies going in were pretty much just pit based. No one expected them to have, 2 pit stops. Everyone had a 1 pit stop strategy aside from Max Verstappen and Red Bull. Yeah, but like I was saying, a lot of strategies going in were basically pit based. Okay, you go in, you pit, and then you come out faster than the other guy or whatever, something of that nature to try and get that position. Now, lap 20 of 53, Hamilton is in the pits. Verstappen gets the lead, and Lando Norris is making some decent moves, actually. I don't know if you guys saw. Well, I'm pretty sure you guys saw. But Lando Norris was making some pretty good moves. Okay, he was moving up the ranks and doing it fairly well. And then, of course, he did end up basically being allowed to pass Ricciardo because Lando was on fresher tires. So it only made, the most sense. Now, Verstappen, he's pushing hard, fighting his way past Valtteri. Now, Valtteri, he sort of over-defended. This was later on in the race, but Valtteri sort of over-defended a little bit and ran wide. And from that point, Max Verstappen was able to actually come through and take that position away from Valtteri. Now, there's a nice little sound bite that really shows Valtteri is getting pissed with Mercedes altogether. He's irritated. And I understand it, I understand it. I'm sure, fans across the world understand it. He's pissed, angry, upset. I have the quote. Valtteri is angry. He says, "Why the fuck do you not listen to me when I say it's going to be a 2-stop race? Why did you not listen?" And you understand his frustration. It's like his opinions don't matter. It's like he doesn't matter to Mercedes. You know what I'm saying? I feel like he still needs to matter. He's gonna help get y'all that Constructors title. He should matter. His opinion should matter. Yes. Would a 2-stop strategy have been the greatest thing? Would it have been effective? It had to be perfect in order to pull it off. Yes. But he would have been better off, and I think that he would have been able to get that top position of you would have had a 1-2 Mercedes finish if he was able to get that off. Probably. Now, Sergio Perez, he easily slipstreams past Valtteri to grab third, and then Verstappen is chasing down Lewis Hamilton, closing the gap. It was originally 4.8 seconds when he passed Valtteri, but then he easily closes that up and closes up that position on Hamilton, and he gets the lead back from Hamilton, and then Verstappen is now in first place. That's a double podium for Red Bull. It literally finishes off last 3 laps. Perez is in third, Verstappen is in first, Lewis Hamilton is in second, all the way to the finish. Nice little race. I have to say though, this race was low-key kinda. It Better than I expected for sure. Nice little battle in the front, especially. A nice little bit of battling and a nice little bit of driving, especially from Max. A great drive by Max. And a great drive by Lando Norris as well. Also, I want to bring attention to Yuki Tsunoda, who was in last place and finished off, I forget where he finished off. Finished off in 13th, coming up from I think 20th to 13th place. That's good work. That's good work. Obviously, kind of expected, but that's good work either way. Okay. Valtteri, he's in 4th. Lando has an impressive 5th. Pierre Gasly comes in 7th. Now, Pierre, he qualified in 6th and he finished 7th. That's a little upsetting, but still a top 10 finish all the way. The man has always had top 10 finishes, in my opinion, in this season, except for that DNF in Bahrain, I believe, right? So, still, pretty impressive work by Pierre Gasly and AlphaTauri today. Good work, fellas. Good work. Mr. Consistent, keep it up. I want to see you succeed, man. I want to see you succeed. George Russell, he finished 12th. Felt like he needed to be mentioned. He had a pretty good drive today. That's really all I got to say for him, though. Aston Martin rounds off the points finish with Sebastian Vettel in 9th and Lance Stroll in 10th. Yuki Tsunoda, he, like I said, finished 13th. He had a 7-position gain. And then the soundbite that was just funny, in my opinion, was when his racing chief or whatever was trying to tell him to do something, and he's like, I know, shut the hell up, or something like that. It was just funny to hear, funny to listen to. I'm pretty sure that was, obviously he was just trying to focus on the race. That wasn't, ill-hearted with what he said, but it was there. So I had to talk about it. Now, Moto GP, there was an Aprilia on the front row. Aleix Espargaro was on the front row, and this hasn't happened in I think 20 years or something like that. So, man, pretty impressive work. But the race starts. Marc Marquez, he's pushing, going hard, has a great start, rounds all the way up, pushes to 2nd place, I think by the first corner. Okay, Aleix Espargaro, he's in 1st. But Marc Marquez nabs that position just a few turns later on the first lap. Impressive work. Francesco Morbidelli, he drops to last very quickly. We don't know what happened with his start. Drops to last like that. And then, of course, Alex Marquez and Petrucci, they crashed out on lap 4. Okay. Or lap 4, lap 5, I believe. One of the two. But they crashed out together. And, of course, both of them blaming each other. But let's go to the race, shall we? Let's go to the race. We got Miguel Oliveira, aggressive, taking charge. That man is making moves, man. I think when did Miguel Oliveira get signed? Last year? Or something like that? Or did he get signed for this year or something of that nature? But man, Miguel Oliveira, that man is making moves. He's going to be the golden ticket. The golden ticket for KTM this year. And next year and maybe following years. They're definitely probably going to extend his contract for sure, if they can. But he's making an aggressive charge within the race. He's tight on the inside corners, pushing guys wide and making them and getting past Miller, who was at that point in time, I believe, in 2nd or 3rd. And then Miller was in 2nd. Miguel pushes past him, takes that nice little tight corner line, and was able to get past Jack Miller. Now, after that point, he's trying to chase down Marc Marquez with a 1.8 second difference, but he's not really closing. Like, he starts closing, but then he loses it. Starts closing, loses it. It goes down by 200ths of a second, 300ths of a second, but nothing ever really crazy, and he can't seem to get past that 1.8 second barrier until that happened a little later on in the race. But Fabio setting up to battle with 3rd on about lap 18. He was really doing his thing. Fabio was really racing, and he dropped back in the pack a little bit, but he was able to come back up and get that 3rd place finish. But Rins, my guy Rins, was in 8th place. Would have had a points finish, would have had a nice, decent little boost of, I guess, not motivation or something of that nature, but whatever. But Rins went from 8th to 12th. Y'all know how I feel about my man's Rins. That's my dog. But man, it's been one unlucky ass season this year. But moving on. Fabio passes Jack Miller on lap 19, which is expected. But I thought Quartararo would have closed that distance between him and Miguel Oliveira a little bit better. Simply because it's Quartararo. He has some of the fastest pace within the race altogether. But I really thought that he was going to push forth and get that W, which he did not get that W, but really have a nice little battle with Miguel Oliveira for second. But he did not have that. That did not occur. I mean, kind of did, but not really. No, there was way too much distance between them. Okay. Now, Fabio in lap 19, he passes Jack Miller. He was struggling a little bit with grip. Obviously, late in the race, grip starts becoming a severe factor, and guys have to maintain that and figure out what they need to do. But Jack Miller was suffering a little bit. Fabio and Quartararo took advantage of that and got himself into third place. Now, Brad Binder versus Aleix Espargaro. That was a pretty good battle, not gonna lie. Brad Binder had had some nice, great pace and was able to get past Aleix and was actually able to get some nice moves in. Not gonna lie, was able to get some nice moves in and had a nice, decent positioning. Now, that brings me to the question: is KTM finally becoming dominant? Let me know what you think in the comments down below, because I personally believe so. If Miguel Oliveira can have such a great back-to-back, Miguel Oliveira can has a nice season right now, and Brad Binder is ranking up there, and Brad Binder is becoming dominant and actually having nice pace and having a good podium pace, championship pace. Are they going to finally become dominant? I think so. Personally, I think so. I think that would be a great thing to have within a race, and it would be a great thing to have, a great system altogether. I think that would be great. Nice battling, all that kind of stuff. But Marc Marquez, he pulls away and he gets first place. He gets first place. The king of the section of the, what is that called? The king of the section ring, or however you say it. I'm not German. The king of the section ring. He's back. Because he's won damn near every year for the last few years, and he's back after 581 days away from racing. Marc Marquez caught his first place W. Oh yeah, that's good to see. Hopefully that gives him that boost, and we're gonna see a real nice championship on our hands. But Binder, I want to go back to Brad Binder, because he was really pushing on Fabio Quartararo, which was something that I didn't expect, from being honest with you. It was something that I didn't expect, simply because Fabio, he's been able to pull away from a lot of competition. He's been able to really move and be aggressive and do those things to get away from all types of competition. And Brad Binder at the time, I didn't really think was that much of competition. But damn, like I said, is KTM finally becoming dominant? Brad Binder was putting pressure on Quartararo behind, man. Man, was it beautiful. It was beautiful. But, like I said, Marc Marquez, he gets first. KTM has a second and fourth finish. Fabio comes in third. Pecco Bagnaia, I want to shed some attention on Pecco Bagnaia, as he started in 10th, dropped down to 13th, and then was able to come back to 5th place. What a great drive. What a great drive from Francesco Bagnaia. Great drive and great pace. And then, that's all I really had to shed light on. Not really going to talk about Renz all that much. I just expect him to come back for the next race. Come back stronger, come back better, and get a W for us. Or not a W, but get some decent points in. Johan Murray's still doing his thing, staying within the top 10. Brad Binder was a unlikely top 5 in my opinion, but I'm glad to see that KTM is doing their thing, and I hope that they have great success to furthermore within this season. And of course, Marc Marquez, the king, is back. Glad to see that he's back in his championship ways. Hopefully that continues for the next race and for the rest of the season, and we could see a nice little battle on our hands and a nice little actual, aggressive season. I mean, Fabio Quartararo, he has a pretty decent points lead, I think. I'm not sure the exact number, but I will find out at some point in time and I will discuss it. But that was a nice race. And I hope it continues into the next race. And then, of course, like I said, the DTM, it had its opening races at Monza and all that kind of stuff. I will discuss that at some point in time. I don't think that I need to discuss that right now. Simply because I haven't even watched the race. I haven't watched any of those races, and I feel like I should definitely watch the whole race, not highlights or anything like that. So I got to find the entire replay and really see what happened, what went down, and see how Alex Albon performed, and go from there on my decisions on my views and insights on whether or not he's really going to mount up some type of F1 comeback. Obviously, it's only one race. It's only the beginning of the season, but I still don't think so. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below about all the things that I've asked. Whether or not Albon is going to be back in F1 in 2022. Let me know if you're a streamer or anything of that nature. Let me know down in the comments below. I'll check your stream out. And also, is KTM finally becoming dominant with Miguel Oliveira and Brad Binder? Is that the combination that they needed? It's looking good so far, ain't it? And that is it for this episode. I am your host, Tarig Waldron, aka The Big Ticket, signing off, and thanking you for listening. Thank you all for listening or watching or whatever the case may be in this podcast. It has been a great stay for me, but I got stuff to do outside of this. Peace out. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful week. And don't forget, no matter what you do, you always got to put in that maximum effort. Peace.